I'm Jonathan A. Hacohen. You may know me as the author of the Bible 3.0, the Six Commandments of the Chosen Life. You may know me as a real estate corporate lawyer, lover of life, dog owner. You probably see me with Chosen Ollie, my lovely Shih Tzu. But today I'm wearing a different hat. Today I'm here to introduce my brother, one of my best friends in life, and a person who I consider a mentor and motivator for me. And I want to introduce him to you today to find that inspiration. He is the one and only George Tremis.
Thank you, brother. And I feel the same. Actually, I look up to you quite often. And sometimes I even ask myself, what would Jonathan do? I'm serious. I really do. Because I believe, like in your circle of friends, right? They say, show me the 5 people and you'll be the average of the 5 people you spend time with. Whether it's 5 people, 10 people, the point is be selective in what you expose yourself to, right? Like, who do you listen to? Who do you read? And who are you friends with? Because that's going to impact you. And so quite often I find that although we have so many similarities, you have learned, improved, done things that I haven't yet, or you have perspectives and life experience, because as close as we may be, our life journeys aren't the same. And you help me be a more holistic, comprehensive, better person. So I do want to thank you for that. Like, honestly, so whether it's learning about your stoicism and watching it firsthand and saying, yeah, Jonathan would have dealt with it like that, and being that much better, I do appreciate it. So thank you for letting me have you as one of my inner circle friends.
This is a case, people, where a friendship, it's the teacher and the student, and then the student becomes a teacher, and the teacher becomes a student, and we keep flipping the hats. It's so funny. Because one of the things, George, I've gotten to know you over the years, and
Good and bad.
good and bad and all around. But you know what? It's not, I wouldn't say bad. It's as far as, one item, for example, let's talk about the bad. Okay, what one considered bad is so selfless all the time. You're so focused on life coaching and mentoring others, where I'd say almost to the expense of yourself. And you're helping other, you're so motivated by the idea of being able to grow other people. You're very business minded. Your idea, the brain does not shut off. The second a little seed gets planted, it's how can I turn this thing into a money-making operation overnight, and how can it grow into a giant empire? And look, obviously, when Ford got built up, when Dell got built up, Facebook, these are all geniuses that had an idea, planted a seed, got the right people, boom. You're in that realm of what you're trying to create all the time, but you're trying to have others plant their seeds and grow them. And one of the first questions I had for you today is, when did you first realize you were born for life coaching? When did you first realize that you are a motivator and a mentor to others?
It's one of those things where it didn't actually come from the inside out. It came from the outside in. And at a certain point, I realized a few things. I realized that, yes, I'm a business person. And yes, I've worked for big Fortune 50 companies. And I always thought myself to be that kind of person, right? The corporate ladder. But then I ended up going the entrepreneurial route. And then I was different things. I was a consultant. I was this and that. As soon as I realized that I was actually a sales professional and an educator of sorts in that, a motivator, a speaker, a team builder, and somebody that actually empowered others more than myself, that's when things changed. So what's really interesting is people can believe what they want about astrology, numerology, all these different things, life by design concepts. I decided to go through one of those programs. And the realization I gained was twofold. One, somebody told me your life path is not to necessarily be Elon Musk, but to be the person behind Elon Musk and behind other Elon Musks. And in that way, you'll find your own greatness. And I was like, whoa, because that's not the way I was necessarily told the path to greatness is. And then the other thing is I would put through like some life coaching, right? Not business or sales coaching or things like that, but life coaching. And I was asked a question. First, I was to deliver some kind of message on a stage, and how would I feel and what would it be like and what would the message be? Then I was to go get on a jet plane and I was to go to a deserted island. But I had not just all the money in the world, but all the resources, because that's what it's about, right? Money is a resource amongst many. So are connections, so is network, the right people around you, the right mindset, the right motivation, self-improvement, etc. They're all resources of sorts to your journey. And the first thing I said when the plane landed, I was like, okay, send the plane back and go get these people. And I realized, and it was pointed out to me, you think that you're the one, that you want to be the lone wolf and this and that, but you're actually the person that's there to be an empowerment with others. And so these things have actually changed the course of my life over the last, I'd say about 3.5 years.
Well, I think, can we have a confession time?
Absolutely.
I'm going to share with you something I've never told you before. Probably because I didn't realize it till now. But when I first met you years ago, I can't say I liked you, George. In fact, I would say I was a little jealous. And I tried to think of why. And now sitting here, I've come to realize why. You walk into my office, you're always put together. The hair's always done, the beard is always trimmed, good skin tone, always jacked, nice tanned, fitting outfits. And I remember we once taped an episode of my Chosen Life podcast together. And, you know, we get the occasional fans and groupies, etc. And one messages me and says to me, wow, me and my friend were watching your show. And my friend said to me, oh, wow, he's so cute, blah, blah. I said, listen, I'm kind of seeing somebody right now, so I don't know if I can really speak to her. And she goes, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about the delicious guy that was with you, George Tremis. I said, really? Tell me more. And she goes, did you see his arms? Whoa. So, Mr. Charlie, it's funny, you know, you got your fan group over there. They love you on social media. And when I look at you, man, it's funny because I remember the first time I saw you and I said to myself, I want to be him. I want to look like that. I want to feel like that. And I came to realize, dude, you were born with a certain body structure. You could eat a certain way. You could exercise, you know, every single day. I don't know if you're ever going to get to George Tremis level. And that's okay. Stop trying to be George Tremis. Be the best you, Jonathan, that you can be. Let that inspire you. And now when I see you flexing, one flex, please. Can we see that? Look at that. Look at that. Listen, I'm more Danny DeVito than Arnold Schwarzenegger, let's be honest. But I try to be the best me that I can be. When I see that, I'm like, man, I have a friend that looks like that. I'm so happy because I know when I walk with you, I'm in good company. It makes me by osmosis look that much better. So I see it in different routes. But I gotta say, George, like, do you encounter that and you feel that as far as either people, you know, really are enthralled with you and come to you because of your appearance and how you take care of yourself versus people that may be intimidated by that and maybe turned off by that? Have you noticed that?
So a couple comments first. I'm no Arnold Schwarzenegger necessarily either, but together we can make one hell of a movie. I'll say that. And also, I guess I'll kind of be a little bit open and talk about something that, you know, confession moment. I don't necessarily have a big ego. I know sometimes it seems like that, and you know, we have public personas and we have to have confidence, etc. But I was the chubby fat kid. I was the kid that nobody liked. I was a kid that never got picked for the sports. I was a kid that girls didn't like. And so the upside is, because it's about making a lemonade stand, not just lemonade, but a lemonade stand out of lemons, is that it taught me to think more, to be more empathic, sorry, is I think is the right word, and to be able to communicate better, think more, as opposed to relying on looks or strength or muscle or the gyms or being able to fight, which I later learned how to do in training and stuff. So I worked on what I had at the time. I played the best move on the board, so to speak, as I've heard it said by somebody else, play the best move on the chessboard, and worked on those inherent skills and talents, and then tried to work on the rest, right? So I always talk about in life, play chess, not checkers. But what I did find as the years went on, and this was through high school, and, you know, I'll admit it, I mean, things have changed these days, but in our generation, people got in fights all the time. I've been in countless street fights, right?
I've talked my way out of countless street fights. Yes.
I tried to many times, and I talked my way out of trouble that came from the street fights, but nonetheless, I've been in many, because oftentimes I found it was one of two things. They as in other males, either loved to like be my friend, hang out, and we were a tribe, we were a circle, we were a group, right? Or they hated me. Mm-hmm. Hated. Like just want to punch me, like punch me face. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes it was not about me or what I did or didn't do. It was about their mindset. So when you talk about, you know, let's go back to the beginning of this topic, being a little bit jealous and not liking me, your evolved nature, your evolved character, your evolved brain, if you will, didn't say, let me hate George and try to destroy him, like tear down other people's taller buildings. Instead, you said, let's build one together. And because of that, now we're both growing together. We're both learning from each other because I see things in you I could be jealous about. Instead, I say, I'm blessed to be able to learn them from you.
And it's on that token, I want to relate to people. I talk a lot about appearances, about professionalism, engaging people. And one of the things I tell people is, for example, like how George and I approach. You could tell we both just got haircuts recently. We did not coordinate that. We just got our beard trimmed. We did not coordinate them to look identical, actually. Both have fitted polo shirts and take care of our bodies. And the thing with it is we're not trying to play a character that we're not. We're actually embracing who we actually are and bring out the best of ourselves that are there. And sometimes I have somebody, George, and I tell them, you're going to a meeting with a potential client. You're going for a job interview. You're going on a date. Why are you not putting your best foot forward? You're coming in looking like you haven't showered in 2 days, all disheveled. You're wearing an outfit that's 2 sizes too big or too small. I don't understand it. Why not present yourself in the best possible light? People say, oh, that stuff doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. No, you know what doesn't matter? Your appearance doesn't matter to you. Your what you're going for, whether it's a date, the job interview, doesn't matter to you. It's coming across like that. If To me, if you're gonna take things seriously in life and you're gonna put some thought into it, you either put thought into things or you don't. There's not, I kind of put thought into this, but I kind of don't put thought into that. I'll be honest, another confession, I put thought into everything. Everything is calculated, and that doesn't stress me out. I like having a game plan. I know the night before, here's what I'm gonna wear, here's what I'm gonna shower, what shoes I'm gonna wear, how I'm gonna approach it, what watch I'm gonna wear, when I'm gonna eat, what route am I gonna take to get there. And having that structure, having that system, I arrive at things much more stress-free. I feel very good about it, and I'm allowing myself to put my best foot forward. The person that says, I'll just throw something on in the morning, I won't even bother showering, I'll eat later on in the day. Why do you want to approach that? You show up to that meeting, you're hungry, you're tired, you're confused, you look like it. And that's why I tell people, I know it sounds very materialistic and it sounds like it's very superficial. It's not. It's portraying your best you and what you portray to other people. George, do you feel the same way?
100%. I mean, in fact, I'm not one to interrupt you, but I want to jump in so many times. I mean, if you don't respect yourself, how does anybody else feel that you're going to respect that? Okay, I talk about sales quite a bit. I do sales training, speaking, mindset associated to sales, even finishing up my first book. And, I talk about being in rapport with yourself. So being in rapport with yourself, you hear about in sales, be in rapport with the prospect, right? But rapport starts with you, right? Valuing yourself. If you don't value yourself, why would somebody else value what you have to say and believe that you're going to value them and their business? So if you can't show up for yourself, why should I believe you show up for me? I'm not going to do business with you, right? So there's so many aspects to this. So yeah, respect yourself, show up, be your best self, try to level up, work on your strengths, play the best move on the chessboard, all of the above, completely.
I was working with a social media influencer, okay? Doing very, very well in the car world, okay, out of all things.
Mhm.
And the social media influencer told me they will not let me play back the footage because they don't want to listen to their own voice. They don't want to watch themselves on camera. And I said to them, you know what? I love the sound of my voice. And I love looking myself in the camera. I can't get enough of that. I watch myself all day if I could. And I was joking, tongue in cheek, well, half joking maybe, but the reality is that me 20 years ago also did not like looking himself in camera, did not want to listen to his own voice, couldn't record his own answering machine message because he doesn't want to hear that. And it's because, George, I did not love myself. I didn't respect myself. I put myself in a very low place. And I'm going to tell people, if you want to make it in life, professionally and personally, like George Tremis has, man, it starts with having that inner feeling, just what you just talked about. And people are spending so much time trying to please others and how do I win my friends over and everything else. It's like you just said, George, don't worry about the other people. Start within. Learn to please yourself. Work on yourself. And man, if you can get yourself in a good place, all that other stuff will come. Whatever you're doing for yourself, do that for others. But if you're going to do what yourself in a negative way to other people, no one's going to want to be around you, right?
I agree 100%. In fact, I think that's part of why we're a powerhouse talking, on podcasts, etc., is because you bring in that component about again, motivation, mindfulness, self-improvement, right? And that all ties in. Like, you got to be right with yourself before you can be right for your clients, your prospects, your business associates, etc. And you bring that to the table. And I strive to do the same thing. And everybody who wants to achieve something, be something, make a mark for themselves, make their last name greater than their first name, should be doing the same thing.
We grew into that. That did not happen overnight. And you're a guy that's a very strong alpha type A personality. And when you see things in a certain way, you see it. I'm the exact same way. And it grew into the friendship when you'd actually feel comfortable to come to me and say, hey, Jonathan, how did that meeting go? Or, hey, Jonathan, what do you think my approach should be? I started asking you one question. I said, do you want to hear what you want to hear? Or do you want to hear the truth and reality?
You did.
I said, I'm being frank with you because I can just feed you whatever you want to hear and make you happy and make you feel good and pet your hair and say, yeah, you're great, buddy. It's all good. It goes to another route to be able to say, hey, I see things this way. And I'm not saying it's the right way, but this is how I would approach it. And that's quite a fix. I know for me, I used to not like to hear that. I wanted to hear what I wanted to hear. I saw the world in a certain way, and nobody's going to show it to me differently. And when I realized, oh my God, I may be wrong. I may be approaching it the wrong way the whole time. It's a hard feeling, George. Like imagine like in my 30s, I realized, man, in some ways I wasted my whole life. Like I never enjoyed one moment in life. I slept walked through my whole life. All I wanted to do was my next goal, my next goal. I never savored anything. That effing sucks to not be like, to not, but I accepted that. And I said, I can either cry about the 30 years I lost in some ways, or I can start living today,
Exactly.
And I like sharing those experiences. You have an ability, which is very rare, to be that alpha male, to be strong, but yet be able to show your vulnerabilities,
Thank you.
How were you able to do that?
So, I mean, you said I'm an alpha male, so I'm not going to disagree. But,
I can feel the testosterone all the way over here, so I know.
But I didn't start out like that. And like I said, I started out as the fat, chubby kid that everybody picked on, nobody liked. And when I said that I got into street fights later in my life, it's not because I was picking them. That's not an alpha male. It's because I was defending myself from the haters, as we had talked about previously. Yeah. However, to be a true alpha male, as I see it, is to be okay with your emotions and feelings and to be open to being better. Because you have such self-discipline and emotional control that you don't take what you want to hear because your ego is so weak. So ego has this negative connotation now in modern thinking, but that's not true. It's healthy versus unhealthy ego. Healthy ego is I'm proud of who I am and I know I can be better. And if I'm surrounded by the right people, they can help me be better. So when you ask me that question, do you want what you want to hear or the truth? No, I want the truth. I respect you. You're my tribe. You're going to help me be better. And if I can't take that, I have no right to expect to be more than I am in life. I should only ask for what I'm willing to earn emotionally, physically, through my work, and through who I am as a person. And that's what I truly believe. So that kind of mindset is what takes me to where I am now and hopefully continues to propel me forward. And it will continue to evolve, and I'll continue to self-improve that way. And that's what I believe being a true alpha is. And even taking pain, okay, and doing the right thing with it. So again, being an alpha is not denying your emotions. So unfortunately, modern media has really twisted a lot of these things. Mm-hmm. Pain is okay. Pain can channel. We've all had the pain of heartbreak. I had the pain of heartbreak, and I channeled it into 9 months of not having a single drop of alcohol, not doing anything other than training, self-improvement, and being a better person. And that's when I competed in my first competition and took podium in my very first competition and show ever. So yes, being an alpha is also about taking your pain, because life is pain, and channeling it for the good of yourself and those around you and being a positive influence. And I'll leave that topic with one question. What do we do with our very first breath in life?
We live.
We scream.
Oh.
We scream.
Yes.
And it's not crying, it's screaming. It's taking the pain and channeling it. Now, as a baby, we only know to scream, but as an adult, I hope we know how to do something better with it.
Amazing. George, man, every time I sit with you, my mind gets blown, and I just see a better version of myself in what you're able to channel for me, and I really appreciate that.
It's reciprocal, brother.
So I got to ask you, as we end today, with your audience, when people reach out to you, I know between you writing your current book and the workshops you do and encouraging people with business mindset to be the best them possible, how are they able to reach you, George? And how, because, when you come and speak to an audience, it's amazing how much information they get, how captivated they are.
Thank you.
So what is the game plan for you, and how do people reach you and be able to hear your wisdom?
So I've been blessed with a very rare last name. So my last name is Tremis, T as in Tango, R-E-M as in money, I-S. So if you Google George Tremis, you're going to find me everywhere, different posts about me, including my social media, which is the best place to hit me up, check out additional content, and we can go from there. Because like I said, some people want to make their last name even bigger than their first name. So Tremis George, Google me.
When you're ready to take that next step and you want to feel that motivation, you want to hear of what steps you can do, especially in business, if you are planning to grow yourself. George is in the world of real estate, as a realtor, and for myself as a real estate lawyer. I've seen you mentor people in the industry. If it's an existing realtor or somebody's like thinking about getting into the industry, hit up George. He can help you avoid a lot of pitfalls and show you roads you may have never thought were possible. And so you're really great that way, George. And I would say, see Mr. Tremis. And if you're not a realtor, if you're not in the world of business, but simply want life motivation, hit up George. It's amazing what he can share with you. You can reach him at George Tremis, chosen lawyer. And thank you for listening to us today as we share George's story.
Yes, I can. Thank you, Jonathan.